So hello everyone, we are back with another episode of Wise and Otherwise.
That's right.
And we try to be wise every time, but somehow you're otherwise.
Yeah, because the topics we choose, we thought we'll choose some easier topics, huh?
Yes.
But sometimes we are
But
getting
it's
into complex topics,
Complex
which
topics.
is not a pay grade, huh?
Yeah. So Sarosh is picking the topics and he's making us kind of
Yeah. So today is like actually, I don't know if it's it's tough topic if you don't have kids. We all have kids.
That's right.
So we have all experienced it. So it's easier, right? If you have done something in your life, then you have the context.
Exactly.
because having kids makes you tougher.
No, you understand more. You understand more, right? So the question is that are we raising strong kids or stressed kids?
And again, this is again with the perspective of being immigrants.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could, I mean, in general.
Yeah,
it's not
because,
specific to immigrants, but it could be. Yeah. I think it's worse for immigrants. in my opinion.
Because now there are two things coming in now. There's an identity issue as well when it comes to immigrants raising kids, and then the identity. And I think it's kind of if that's the right word to say, but it's kind of a double whammy because we also are going through an identity crisis of some sort when we move to this country of being immigrant, and we're raising the kids who probably have that same thing as well.
But let me ask you a question. The question is, are we raising stronger kids?
Yeah, strong kids or stressed kids?
Strong kids or stressed kids?
Strong kids would be the strong in terms of when they go out in the world, they feel like they're prepared.
Okay.
And versus if they are stressed all the time, and I'll explain what that stress is. The stress of being like two different cultures, right? Identity crisis would be one. Social media is another stress. The stress we put on our kids to study hard and that whole mentality, right? It's all about academics, right? If you're not doing that, you're not worth it, right? So all those create stress in the kids, and they may grow up having that stress. So what is the impact of that? Versus if you build their personality, like giving them more freedom. So it's structure versus giving them how much freedom you want to give them, right? Maybe they become stronger if they learn and you're not overprotective, right? So they learn by their own mistakes. I don't know. I mean, that's
Interesting. Interesting question. Okay. So I mean, my first thought is, that old adage, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Right?
Yep, exactly.
So I
That's a good one.
I guess if you are raising stressed kids, are you by theory or by relation raising strong kids because they are stressed?
Okay, that's interesting.
Right?
Because you're pressure testing them.
We are pressure testing them. I mean, when you ask that question, that's kind of in my mind how I try to look at it. But interesting discussion. Okay, so I guess because when you were saying strong, I was thinking compared to what? Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Compared to a generation.
Yeah.
Compared to a immigrant, non-immigrant status, as Waqas alluded to.
So interestingly, one thing that this whole conversation about doing a podcast started from this point only, generations.
Generations.
But these are talking
But
specifically kids.
It's related.
kind of like
Yeah.
intertwined, if I'm...
Yeah.
So like just talk about academics, right? Start with that. So like the culture we came from, like the dad doesn't come and ask, hey, son, how are you doing? They ask, well, what is your math score?
Yeah, exactly. What are the grades? Huh?
What are your grades?
And why Imran got 98 and you got
And you said,
97?
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think I was lucky enough. I didn't grow up quite like that. My father was more of, get out. The conversation we had is you learn more outside of school or class than you do in
See,
class.
that's really good.
Yeah. So my father encouraged us to do other activities, get involved in sports. He would actually push us to do things, and we're like, I don't want to do it, but we were forced to do that. I'm not saying good or bad, but I'm just saying from the perspective of I think different parents and different generations have different kind of thoughts. I look at kids now, the younger kids, right? So not the kids who are my kids' age, which are in the mid-20s or approaching 20. But I'm looking at the kids that are now like 5, 10, 12 years old, 15 years old, and the activities that they're being put into, right? I mean, we look at when we were growing up, nobody really cared. You were out in the street playing. Only time your mother really cared was, okay, the sun is setting, it's going to get dark, it's dinner time,
There
come
was
inside.
no cell phone, right?
There was
How
no
to
cell
keep
phone.
track of-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we got to where our kids were younger, where we were a little bit more involved in their activities and stuff like that. And now I think kids are super programmed. I don't think they have time to be kids because they have sports and they have activities and they have school.
Piano
and they have
lessons and
piano lessons.
soccer lessons, whatever.
So So this means that our parents they had more trust on us, huh? When you talk about like
Yeah.
Now only they had enough resources.
They didn't have an option. I
yeah,
think.
exactly, yeah. And now these are like what they call it. We are like umbrella
The
parents.
umbrella, like helicopter.
Yeah, we're always certainly exactly helicopter. Yeah.
So I think that goes back to your question more, right? If you let your kids, you kind of alluded to that if they are allowed to go out and make their own mistakes, learn from their mistakes, and learn from their process, you are equipping them better to cope with life, right?
Yes. You're making them stronger.
So that makes the case against this tiger mom or helicopter parent
Yes.
that is always
Protective.
protecting the kid
Yeah.
from the real world. And when they would actually go out into the real world, it becomes a shock. It becomes, oh my God, my boss actually talked down to me.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
Because somebody
because
said this to me, and yeah.
goes back to our previous episode of it hurt my feelings or how do we do that? But then it also goes back to our previous conversation from last episode of what are the real stresses that these kids are facing?
Yeah, like social media pressures, right?
No,
Bullying and
no job pressures.
no job. Oh,
Not
yeah.
earning enough.
That's very
Minimum wage hasn't gone up in 25, 30 years.
Churn when I'm changing everything. Those jobs you think they're gonna
that you
be
studied
there,
for
they're
is
probably
not
gonna be
there. So those kind of stresses are a whole other level, which I mean, yeah, it's AI thing.
Very true.
I don't think anybody knows what's really
Nobody
going to
knows.
happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're telling, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to help everybody. And oh, it's next year, everybody's going to be without a job. What is the reality? And how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
And have we equipped these kids to kind of navigate that, right?
But like when we were growing up, so our parents were they were like dictating the terms in
Yeah.
a way that okay, you have to be a doctor or this or that. Huh?
Yeah, they assign a profession to you. Yeah.
But in the middle class or in the developing world, so the helicopter parenting is probably the same thing. They probably are like protecting them in a way that their minds sometimes it's the parents' decision.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it becomes
It's a
like-
parent's decision.
Yeah, so 'cause I was reading somewhere that I read it too, huh? by the way.
Yeah, we know because you're wise.
But didn't you just say you read something and it just went?
Some of them.
Something, yeah, something.
Yeah, they stuck. So something like really meaningful, huh?
Yeah.
So they said that the transitioning to adulthood was like around 18. No, it's going past 25, 30. You know,
That's
they are not, as you said, they are the kids or
That's
children
a really good point.
are not ready to go out in the world. They are always trying to come with a complaint or some story, not a story, but complaints or like for, job stress, job related stresses, stuff like that. So that's another worrying part, of the new generation.
New generation, they're so protected and
No, but you see, look, so just the other day, actually yesterday, I was listening to this podcast where they were talking about how in about 25 or 30 years ago, the average age of the first-time home buyer was 24 to 26.
that's very, yep, it's gone up.
Now it's 39 to 40.
39 to 40.
Now, is it because, the kids are not being, brought up right or they're not trained? Or is it the economics?
Economic, yeah.
Right? They're not finding the right jobs. The house prices have gone up. Affordability has become a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that's where the stress part comes in.
That's the stress part. That
Right.
you thinking that I will never own a house or,
Right.
or your parents give you or help you with the house.
I mean, that old adage of, the next generation is always better than the last.
Yes.
But they are
But in what way, right?
In what way? Yeah.
do they want to have those trappings of life as well, like buying a house, owning a car?
Oh, when you can't afford it, you don't want it.
Yeah.
So are you coping with it by saying, I don't really want it? Or do you really don't want it?
Point.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you know what, there's this minimalistic thing. Oh, tiny homes. I don't want to have. Is it because you can't afford it?
Can't afford it. Yeah.
Or because you really are a minimalist?
Right.
I think we should think the later part is better, huh? Yeah.
Well, you can think whatever you want, but I mean, I think the reality of it really is that these are things which you have to kind of face.
Economy.
This morning, I won't say the name of the politician, but a politician from a certain party that you would not associate with is now suddenly saying, you know what, this is ridiculous. Living wage should be between $21 and $26 an hour.
It has not changed.
And the federal minimum wage is still $7.25.
That's great.
So how do you live on 1/3?
Survive.
You have to have 3 jobs, and then you still have to be on some kind of government assistance or some kind of other thing or some other job. Otherwise, just deemed to be lazy or looking for a handout. Right? The system is really broken. So I think it's not. To go back to your original question about stronger or stress, I think we are becoming stronger because, look, just the very facts of existence, 20 years ago, there was 4 billion people on Earth. Now there's 7 billion.
7 billion.
Touching 8 billion, right? So there's twice as many people in the last 30 years that our kids have to compete with.
And the resources are depleting.
The resources are depleting or they're getting sucked up to the top 1% or billionaire class or whatever that is.
Yes.
Right? So the stress levels, the number of universities is almost the same. The number of kids going to universities for those scholarships is pretty much the same. So how do you then justify, you didn't get into Harvard or you didn't get into blah, blah, blah school? So you can be the helicopter parent, but the expectation that your kid is going to go do that is not right. Right?
Yep.
So I think we are creating the stresses. No matter how strong we make our kids, the stresses are going to be there. Because it's not stresses that the parents are creating, it is stresses that the parents are also reacting to and that society is creating.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like growing up, like when the child is growing up, the parents, they don't talk about money to them. They don't. They're raising them not talking about money. But what we are probably alluding is to what we want better thinkers, intellectually more capable people, or people who can, again,
People who have more life lessons, right? They're like, we're not teaching them life lessons. We're teaching them how to do math and algebra and the academic side of it. And not that that's wrong.
Yeah.
There's got to be a balance,
Exactly.
right?
But
you
subconsciously-
come out without any life experience, you experience things like my boss said that.
Yeah.
Then you just that kind of pulls you down, right?
So that means that subconsciously we are training the kids to earn money, huh?
Yes.
So that's, we are not saying it blatantly. I mean, as in you have to study because you have to earn money, or you have
it's all
to
about-
earn money, or you have to be a billionaire or millionaire, huh?
Or their own ego. Or their parents couldn't do it, so they say, well, I'm going to live through my kids, right? That's another side of it.
Yeah.
That's a whole other
That's more of an immigrant
Yeah, that's
perspective, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the parents always want better for their kids than they had, right? And I think the way things are evolving, especially in the United States, especially in the last 30, 40, 50 years, is things overall are not getting better, right? I mean, if we look at, just take a step back, kind of look at a macro of, you look at, everybody talks about Gen Z and Gen X and Gen Y, or all those things. But if you look at the people that were there in World War II, they had one crisis in their life, which was World War II,
This was World War II.
right?
Yes.
And then the next generation had Korea. Then the next generation had Vietnam.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so there were these things that happened. You had the oil embargo and then, the energy crisis and since 1990 or since 2000, what have we lived through?
That's very true. That's, I never thought of that.
9/11, Sarbanes-Oxley,
Yeah.
the Wall Street breakdown,
Major-
the mortgage meltdown in 2007, COVID. We have gone through cycle after cycle
Unbelievable
after
cycle.
cycle. So there was this old
Creates stress.
that creates a lot of stress. That's a societal stress,
Yes.
right? We are living crisis to crisis.
Good point.
Past generations had a couple of crises in their lives,
Big ones, but
big ones,
that's about it.
but it was once in a life,
right.
defining.
Right.
And again,
We're going through 3 per decade.
yeah. And again, if you're talking about the global perspective, World War II happened, but probably half of the world didn't know that there's a World War II happening. Correct. Because there was no
News global news channels and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was localized.
Growing up, so when the Iraq war happened, so these are the first visuals I remember about the modern
91.
era war, So
Early
these are like very vivid, these are very vivid pictures, So you're right. In that manner, that information is so, overloaded.
Yeah.
We know things before it happens.
Exactly.
And that could be another source of stress, like the social media with the kids.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff they're seeing online, I mean, it's all visible. It's out in the open.
Exactly.
Right? You can't control that. So the parents try to restrict to the kids, like, oh, you're not going to have a phone and this and, but it's just hard to do. I mean, it's,
You see, okay, so again, I'm going to put a current
Okay.
event that happened today.
all right.
A certain speechwriter from a past president, and again, because we're not political, I'm not going to say who, a prominent speechwriter from a very popular president, recent past, made a statement today. And the statement, again, without getting into the politics of it, is that the old days were good because we could sanitize the information that we gave to the American people.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
And now she is going back and questioning how we educate the society, how we educate our kids so that they don't have certain thoughts and they react a certain way.
So you're molding them. You want to filter the
We
information.
were molded.
We were molded. So we
right?
were molded.
Now social media is taking that control away. People are actually seeing reality
Yes.
because these phones are recording reality and putting it out there.
Oh, yeah.
And the narrative that you wanted to drive is not being driven.
It's not driven.
Right? So our kids actually are stronger, to answer your question again.
very true.
Because they're seeing a reality of the world.
They're seeing
that
the real
they did not
world.
See
Yeah.
that, and they're also way more stressed out because they're seeing that reality.
Yes, very true.
And they have to survive in this world that we're leaving them. Right?
So-
I mean, so it's kind of
So the thing is that this podcast,
Yes.
wise and otherwise, again, probably was more otherwise today as well.
yeah.
But the idea is to give those sound bites,
These are the sound to raise them, start the conversations.
Exactly.
And we want to hear in our comments, like, what do you think, right?
And
What do you-
as we said that we will be bringing people who know these subjects better, and hopefully coming future we'll be doing that. So so these are all thoughts, maybe thought-provoking, questions which
That's
are
the idea.
putting, in front of our audience.
Yeah.
And we are also expecting some some nice feedbacks and some pertinent, issues which can be, they can give us their thoughts about that as well. And they will be more, I'm sure they are wiser people, watching us, listening to us, and
Who are these idiots? Right? We want to hear from you.
Okay.
exactly. But so that's
This is a conversation starter.
exactly. That's a
So that was our podcast. So we wanted to kind of just talk a little bit about kids. I mean, this is the topic we can go on forever. right?
exactly.
But we will continue this conversation. Maybe next time we'll take the same topic and bring an expert and talk about it, right?
And I'm sure these.
Would that be a kid?
Very true. Yeah, it's got to be. I actually asked my daughter today, hey, you want to be part of the podcast? She said, no. Like,
But again, this is a subject of like a a panel discussion maybe.
Yeah, it's a panel discussion.
Wider audience, to participate and get their point of view as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Send us your comments. Tell us what you think.
Exactly.
And tell us topics we can discuss as well.
Wise and otherwise?
Wise and otherwise, another episode, another topic. Well, thanks everyone for listening to us, and we'll bring another topic next time. Thank you.
And please subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks.
Thanks.
Take care.
See ya.